Hey gang, it's Ryan here. I know this is kind of a weird environment for me. I'm currently at work in my full-time job up with Alberta Health Services in the Wabasca station in the middle of nowhere. I've never even heard of this place even before I got a job here. I was like, where is Wabasca? Where is that? It's pretty much halfway between Slave Lake and Fort Mac. For those of you who don't know Alberta that well, and even if you do know Alberta that well, you might not have a clue where it is. But Hoosers, I'm at work, as you can see here, in my trusty Alberta Health Services uniform, and the reason why I'm going to do this kind of live talk, recorded talk from the station in the conference room today is because I just have no time. I'm working lots and I won't be home that often. And so I really want to get these out to you on a consistent-ish basis. And so I just got to utilize my time while I can. Luckily, I'm just on call 24/7. So I got a little bit of, the luxury of time working on my side. So I'm just I'm here right now. This morning, I was just helping out at the party program, which is a way to get kids aware of the dangers of drunk driving. When they're 14 years old, there's supposed to be like 75 kids, but there's only 30 that turned out. So they didn't really need my services to help them out. So here I am. I got a little bit of time, and I'm going to dedicate that towards helping you and navigating the ways of real estate. So let's get right into it. First of all, I wanted to talk about 3 different types of strategies to get into the real estate investment world that I'm really bullish on for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I'm going to talk about single family suited properties that are fully renovated, and I want to show you the numbers associated with that, actual numbers. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to show you actual numbers about a 4-plex opportunity in Edmonton. Number 3, I want to talk at length about the advantages of direct mortgage lending. This is something I currently do. By the way, anything that I recommend, I personally do or have scrutinized with a fine-tooth comb. Okay, I would never lead anyone that is watching this astray. So that mark my words on that. Direct mortgage investments are awesome because you can actually rely on consistent, measurable, predictable income. I do one right now where I put like $30,000 and then I'm getting like 18% back, and I will actually show you that return on a screenshot of my Olympia Trust account, just so you know I'm not BSing you. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to do a separate video about that, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's just focus on this guy right here. Where's my finger? This one. This should be popping up on your screen. So as you can see, this is just a run-of-the-mill property. These happen all the time. They are not too hard to find. They are available quite consistently. If you want this specific one, you cannot have it. I'm sorry, but fear not. These properties pop up quite consistently. Now, this is just an average property, and I wanted to show you what is possible. What can you expect after all the expenses are said and done if you want to get into the real estate game? And I want to start off with this one because it's one that's the most accessible. It's easier to wrap your head around. It's a lower barrier to entry. With $100,000, you can get something like this. That's closing costs. That's everything included, and you can expect about a $300 to $400 cash flow after all the expenses. And this is 100% renovated from top to bottom: water heaters, roof, windows, all that jazz. And these are available fairly consistently. Actually, I was in the Army with a guy who flips these properties, and you can buy them fresh out of the oven once he's done with them for this price point and the cash flow just like that. So yeah, really powerful a piece of property to add to your portfolio if you're looking for a little bit of diversification and just want to taste a little bit of real estate, or dip your toe, or just get a rock in your portfolio that you know is going to be strong through the economic storms in the stock market. And it's a good way to always have a piece of real estate in your portfolio, because it's not really correlated with the same market as is the stock. So I think people are generally underexposed to real estate. So this is a great one for a few reasons. One is, as you can tell, these properties are basic bananas. They are anywhere from $400,000 to $450,000 in the Edmonton market range, I should say. I should clarify. Me being in Edmonton, I'm going to focus on that because that's the numbers that are in my head after analyzing deals that come across my desk. So that's why I bring this property up. And the reason why being in the medium income, purchase price range is important is because you have people that are downsizing from larger properties down to this level. You have people that are upgrading from renting an apartment, to getting into their first home. And so for being a more liquid asset, this is probably the best that you're going to get. And I recommend the suited option because it's much more easier to cash flow. You can diversify the income. You can diversify your losses. If there's one vacancy, you still got a little bit of income to support yourself. And it's just better to do it like that. And it gives you much more flexibility with the property itself. And the next reason is if you're a new investor, if you want to get into real estate investing, this is the perfect option because you still have to have a roof over your head. Either you're paying rent or you're paying a mortgage. Pick one. So this is a great way where you can have your cake and eat it too. You can either live in the basement if you're a young bachelor like myself. Maybe that's going to change soon, but who knows? No pressure. And you can rent out the upstairs for about like $1,300 a month, which would basically cover the whole entire mortgage. Or you could live in the more palatial part, the upstairs, for a little bit more square footage. And then you can rent the basement, which would offset, I don't know, on average, like 75% of the cost of the mortgage. So these are just examples. This is just something to get your mouth wet a little bit and give you just a real example of what's possible out there. But okay, so let's look at the numbers breakdown. I'm looking at my computer screen right here, as you can see it on yours. So as you can see, the return on investment is this is going to fluctuate a little bit, but this specific one is about 23% annually. Now, this is if you buy this property with a down payment, put it in $100,000, wait 5 years, and with the average appreciation, with the mortgage pay down, with the cash flow, all that calculated for you on this page right here, you're looking at a 23% average return on investment, which is huge. I don't know where you're going to get that with the banks. If you have gotten those returns consistently in the past 5 years, then awesome. Good for you. Then whatever you're doing is working. But you are looking at this for a reason, and I can see why you're looking, because anyone would love to have 23% returns. I mean, this is just like an average run-of-the-mill property. But you know what? It gets really sweeter than that. What I added to my analysis is, if you can see it right now, is the cost analysis, the return analysis. If you were to decide that you would like to tap into your home equity to mobilize some of that stagnant, untapped wealth that you're sitting on, they're not currently using. I think Scotiabank had it right when their motto was, "You are richer than you think," because a lot of people, they're scared to use this. They're conservative at best, and I understand that. The typical mentality is to pay off your mortgage, to reduce your expenses before you go into retirement. But that's an okay defensive game, and I realize that defense wins championships. If you remember the Denver Broncos, they were all D, and that's what won the Super Bowl for them. But you got to play the aggressive game, or at least open it up the option and learn a little bit more about it. So I'm not going to sell you on that idea. That's whatever you want to do with it, but I'm just here to show you the potential results. Now, this is a strategy that Vancouverites, if you want to call them that, utilize all the time. They're like, there's a whole nother world out there, network of investors that you and I aren't aware of. And these people in Vancouver, they don't have to do anything. We're envious of their appreciation that they get in that market. They can just sit there and their houses go up, 5-10% per year. And so what they're doing is they can't access that cash. It's on paper, they are wealthy, but they can't, buy diapers with it. Okay, so they need a way to mobilize that untapped net worth on paper, and take out the equity and buy properties that can actually cash flow. So what they're doing is they're taking out these home equity line of credits, and they're taking that money, going elsewhere across borders, buying products, properties that can cash flow, that they can actually do something with, such as Edmonton. This happens all the time, and they're buying a product exactly like this. So these Vancouver people are eating their lunch, and it sickens me because there's so many people that could benefit off of this, and they don't realize that. They don't see the objective, kind of like the CEO viewpoint of everything that's going on in the market. All they see is what's immediately around them, which is to a disadvantage. So that's part of the reason why I want to make these videos, is to show you what other people are doing, what you could expect, and what you can do with your own money. So anyways, that's the potential with that. So let's break it down even further. Let's look at the number and see how we get to that. So with a home equity line of credit, if you didn't know, you're generally paying 0.5 to 1% over prime, so around 4.5, maybe 4.75% of an interest-only payment. So if you're looking for cash flow, if you want and rely on that cash flow, this may not be the option for you, because as you can see, that minimum interest only payment that you would be paying comes out to around $350 per month, which the cash flow would just support. So this would be not a negative cash flowing property, but a net zero property, which may sound bad, but if you think about it, it's a fantastic option. I mean, just think about it. What else are you going to do with 100 grand in equity in your home? If you have $200,000 in equity, you have a $300,000 mortgage, $500,000 property is the value. So you tap into only $100,000 of that, use that to buy a property just like this. You net zero, nothing happens, but things are happening on the back end. You are gaining equity in this property 5 years down the road. And if you look at the return, it's significantly higher. If you don't need that immediate reward right now, if you're building your future, if you're looking for long-term wealth, this is a fantastic strategy, and I highly recommend utilizing that. But it's your money, do what you want with it. I'm just here to show you the results. Now, if you want to get a property just like this, if you're looking for opportunities such as this, if you want more information, if you just have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop me a line. Likely, if you're getting this, you're not a stranger to me, and I'd be more than happy to help you along the way and guide you by the hand and take you from start to finish and walk you through the whole ordeal. So you can get a hold of me at 306-807-4890, or you can email me, Ryan@ryanlakerealestate.ca. Catch you next time. Take care.